Come friends, perhaps you want to be a CNA, maybe a nurse, perhaps you like to try the medical field. Well, why don't we experience it together? And perhaps together we'll survive these nursing home nightmares.
Okay, good morning. It's 7 a.m. It's Thursday morning. It's a new week. 4 days to go. Welcome to another episode of Nightmares. Hopefully today won't be such a nightmare. It's pretty good. We have 5/8 so far. Everything is working out so far so good. And we're going to see how the day rolls. I'm going to show you my assignment in a second. Go over some things with you and then we'll get started. So welcome to my show. So this is my assignment for today. I'm here. So we have this lady does herself. Just have to give her towels and washcloths and keep an eye on her. She washes pretty much herself. This person I was telling you about was a high fall risk, so I have to keep an eye on this person. This person is a total Hoyer, including helping them eat breakfast. This one is an assist, just helping wash and get dressed. This one is a total. And this one is an assist. This one is a total. I have to do everything, help the person get washed and dressed. And this one has vision impaired, so they need a lot of help. But there's 5 aides. I have one person I have to help eat for breakfast and lunch. So we're going to see what happens as the day goes on. Well, there's only 4 of us again. Someone didn't show up. So I'm going to have a lot of add-ons. More totals, more Hoyers. I went from 5 to 4 really quickly, and it looks like a beginning of a nightmare. So fasten your seatbelts because we're going for a ride. Okay, so we did having 5 aides. One of the girls, ladies, from the other side, she came over. So we still have 5 aides. The one didn't show up or she didn't call. That happens a lot in nursing. You get a lot of no-call, no-shows. But unfortunately, this facility here, even if you do that, they kind of look the other way and they'll be back on the schedule and working tomorrow. They just let it go. I guess there's a lot of short of help in some places in some areas, so they can't really afford to fire too many people too fast. So one thing you're working nursing, you never know what your staff says you'll be like. The schedule says one thing and your body shows up, that's another thing. So, but we do have 5 aides today, but 2 of my people came from the hospital and they have wounds from the hospital they came from, I guess, because they've been in there for long periods of time. So the wound round nurse is coming to assess them or do treatments or evaluate their progress. So 2 of my people have to stay in bed for a while. That's going to delay me from getting everybody up and getting everybody ready. At least I don't have any add-ons, which is going to be good. So hopefully, as things progress during the day today, I'll eventually be able to get everybody done. You're supposed to have everybody up and dressed by 11 o'clock. That's the standard, at least for my area. But with the wound round nurse coming, I don't know if she might come 9, 10, 11, I don't know. So that's going to put me behind in that. So having good time management skills is a plus in nursing. So let's see what happens. So here's our linen cart. They're in the hallways. You have your towels, Johnny coats, gloves, garbage bags, flat sheets, fitted sheets, washcloths, towels, blankets, bedspreads, and there's one in each hall. There's one in the hall I'm in now, and there's one in the other hall. There's 2 halls to a unit. So I just wanted to show you that. I don't know what Hoyer machines that you have where you work, but here's our controller for our Hoyer machine. So you open and shut the legs, it's up and down. And then we have a battery, interchangeable battery here. Here's the emergency shut off, in and out. shut it off. And here's the hooks that you hook the Hoyer pad into. Always make sure you use a Hoyer machine that has the safety hooks. You have some Hoyer pads have 6 and some have 4 pads. Here's I'm trying to show you the Hoyer pad itself. And you can see there are multiple colors. The higher towards the top, the more the resident will be sitting up higher, and the lower the color, the purple and the black, they'll be lower down. So you want to always make sure that the top of the Hoyer pad, here's the top because it has the label on it. So you would sit them in the Hoyer pad, make sure it's underneath of them. So this would be the top. So if you want them in a more upright position, you put the hook like this on the hook, like so. Make sure it's locked in. And at the bottom, if you want it in a lower position, you would put it in a lower position, either the purple, but try not to put it on the black because if the black breaks, there's nothing to support them. So always try to use the purple. You're gonna sit, and when you raise it up, the resident or the person, whatever it is, will be more in an upright position. It's much easier to get them in a chair. The lower color ones that you can use, like the green, if the person's large, or purple, the more lying down, like if you have to put them in a shower bed, or if you have to put them in sort of like a lying position or a leaning back position. And always make sure, like I said, that before you always have 2 people for the Hoyer machine. It has a scale on it. Just turn it on. And make sure you zero it out. If you have to get a weight, you can zero it out. And then when you raise them up, it gives you the weight when they're in the air. And this is an emergency let down, like if you have to let them down the emergency, in a safe surface, a bed or a chair or something, you pull this up. And like I said, the legs are automatic. So you open the legs, and then you push the button, and the legs will close automatically. Okay, now we're going to move on to the next thing. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock now. I have about 2 people left to do, but I had a situation with one of the residents. We'll call him Mr. Jones. Obviously, that's not his real name, but he's on thickened liquids. That means you can't have thin liquids. You have to have thin. If he does get thin liquids, he has to have it thickened with a thickener. Usually, a nurse has that. We do have some pre-made thick liquids, waters, juices, cranberry juice, apple juice, things like that. And so he's not allowed to have thin liquids. And I tried to explain, to the nurse that he was drinking thin liquids because we have we call it a day room, and it has an ice machine in there and ice water, for the residents, and some of the families come, but the problem is the thickened liquids residents. So he goes in there, and he gets a cup of ice and water, and I tried to take it from him because he's my resident today. Of course, he gave me a hard time. He tried to throw the ice and water at me. So I went to the nurse, and I tried to explain to him, and he said, let him do what he wants. But I just get upset because it's my residents. I like my residents or patients to be well taken care of, because anything happens, it's on you, it's on your license, it's on your head, your shift. First one to come to is why. The nurse is going to say, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you take care of that? Why didn't you fix that? The nurse is not going to take blame for it. So, like I said, he got ice water, and he got water, in a cup, and I tried to not take it from him, but I asked him to give it to me, and he pretty much threw it at me. So I had to get the housekeeping guy to come and mop up the floor because I had ice and water. And even to use a towel to clean up the water, it's not going to pick up the ice. So it's just one of those situations you have to deal with. The wound nurse, like I said, is supposed to be coming soon. But I found out the resident can stand up now, so if the wound nurse comes later this afternoon, you can always put him back to bed or have him stand out of his wheelchair and check the wound that this person has. So like I said, I got about 2 more people to do. It's a little 5 after 10. I'm looking at the clock up on the wall. So again, um, always look out for your license. I said make sure you always have 2 people to Hoyer. Make sure you always have residents where you're supposed to be, especially if you have dementia, because they wander away. They get in other people's beds, or they go in other rooms, other bathrooms. So really, you have 5, 8, 10, 15 residents. I know it's not always easy, but just try to keep an eye out of your corner. Peek. Try to remember where your people are. So there's a fall situation. When was the last? First thing they ask you, when was the last time you seen them? When was the last time they were toileted? When was the last time that they ate? They're coming to you for the questions. So, not coming to the nurse or not coming to the dishwasher. They're coming to you. So, you fill out a action report, a fall report. I still have my charting to do, which I'll go over with the vitals and put them in the computer, things like that in a little while. But I just want to mention the situation I had with this man with the ice water and the thickened liquids. So it's 5 after 11. My assignment's all done. I got one of the residents up. Wound care didn't come yet, so they said they can stand them to check what they have to check for Mr. Bob Jones to see what he needs in care. Got him up, got him dressed all the way down to the gym, put him there. And the therapist had to go somewhere, so they sent him back to his room. Now he's cursing and screaming in his room. I know it doesn't have anything to do with me, but it's crazy the situations that happen. And he can't find his shirt, so he's very upset. Laundry didn't come up yet today, so he's still screaming, he's yelling, somebody lost his shirt. So, it's a nightmare for me this morning. So, another one of the nursing nightmares. Until 11 o'clock, we still got 4 hours to go. Lunch is coming up in about 30 minutes. And we'll see who helps pass trays and what happens with that kind of situation. Okay, so finished lunch. It's 1:15 now, 1:15. Be proper. Lunch went well. At least all 5 aides, including myself, passed and collected trays, so that was good. For a nightmare day, the only problem is one of the aides disappeared for an hour, and he took his lunch bag, so I thought he had left. So I had to Hoyer one of his residents back to bed, change him, Hoyer the person back up again. I got help. Of course, you have to have 2 people for the Hoyer, so they nice enough to help me Hoyer and change. I notified the nurse that the aide was missing. I'm not a snitch, but the family was waiting 45 minutes to get the resident changed, and she was getting frustrated. So I felt bad for the person and the family. They shouldn't have to wait that long, especially with 5 aides. So we're still waiting for this aide to come back, if they come back. And we'll see what happens, so it's a little bit of a nightmare for that. If they don't come back, of course, we have to pick up the pieces and do the division up of his assignment for the second round and third round changes. So that's not going to be good. It's added extra work. But at least lunch is out of the way. Therapy is rolling along. Some people are resting. A lot of the residents sleep after meals. No falls today so far, thank God. So we're moving right along, and we'll see what happens. Still got an hour and a half to go. So anything could happen in a nursing nightmare. Okay, so it's 2:30 today. Looks like we made it through another nightmare together. Still got 4 more days to go this week. And I'm sure everything will turn out fine. But you never know. This is why they call it the nightmare. And I shall see you 7 a.m. in the morning. I hope you're with me. Till then, be careful.